Hey guys, what's up? It's Leaf from Coding with Leaf, and I'm really excited today to bring you guys part 2 of this series. Last time we installed the Cardano CLI. As you can see in the terminal, I can print out the version of Cardano CLI. If you haven't seen that video, click the link in the description or in the top right hand corner. You're going to be able to go to that video. Now we're going to CD into the Cardano drive that we made last time, and this will just be the location you have your Cardano source folder built in. And we're going to actually, this one, go over how to run your Cardano node on the pre-production testnet. There's 3 different types. There's the beta version of Cardano, which is the preview testnet, the pre-production, which is the traditional testnet, and then the production version, which is, of course, Cardano in its mainnet state. So today we're going to be doing the testnet. Again, this documentation is going to be linked down in the description below. I have a second piece of documentation here just to fill in some of the gaps because both are actually missing some pieces that you need in order to successfully run a Cardano node, and some good recommendations for how to structure your file. So the first thing we're going to do is we need to put our node socket into our bashrc file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my Visual Studio Code in my bashrc and copy the line that I set in that second piece of documentation in the description below. It's an export line. I'm sorry you can't fully see my Visual Studio Code, but it's going to be export Cardano node socket path. That variable name is really important. And then we're going to pass in the path to our node socket. Now in this instance, I made my node socket put in a testnet folder on my Cardano drive. So wherever you have your Cardano source in that directory, you should also have a testnet folder where you should store the information in regards to the testnet. And I made a decision here to put the node socket in the database section of the testnet directory, but that's actually not, if you're going to have a main and a testnet, that's actually probably not the best idea. You should probably keep your node socket in a central place because you have to use the same node socket for both the mainnet and the testnet. But wherever you keep it, just make sure you correctly link that path in the bashrc. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make that directory, the testnet directory, in where we have our Cardano source folder like we did last time. So now we have Cardano source and testnet. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make another directory called db inside of testnet, and we're also going to make another folder, another directory, and this one is going to be called, I believe it's going to be called config. Okay, great, config. And in our config, we're going to cd in there, and real quick, we need to paste in these curl statements that I have in the first bit of documentation linked in the description below. So I'm going to go back over and show you guys what I'm talking about. We have different JSON files to download depending on which production we're going to be using. So again, we're using testnet, so we copy the testnet config files. Now we're on to actually running the node itself. Sorry I'm moving a little bit fast here, but this would take a real long time if we didn't. So I'm actually going to move our VS Code a little bit over so you guys can fully see it. So I'm actually just going to paste this in to VS Code. Sorry it's a little bit hard to see, but basically I'm just pasting that part into VS Code, and I'm also just changing the parameters to the accurate place of my topology for the testnet. So that's going to be in the testnet directory, in the config, then in the topology.json file that we installed in that curl statement. The next one is going to be our database path, which is just going to be, again, in our testnet folder. And then the next one is going to be -db, because that's the folder we have for our database. That's going to be all our transaction information. We're going to be pasting that in there. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to give it the packet, give it the route to our socket. In this case, it's going to be in my testnet, and then node socket. Again, that might be somewhere else for you. For the address, we can just put our IP address of 0000, and that's fine. And then we can keep the port as the same. And then as our config file, we're going to use the Cardano drive testnet config, and then it's going to be config.json is the one we installed. So let's put that in there. Great, so now we have our shell script. We're just going to save this, and now we can actually run our shell script in order to run our node. Okay guys, so I actually found the issue. I forgot to do source bashrc to update our bashrc folder. So I saved it, but I didn't do source and then bashrc. So we go the / to get into our home directory and then bashrc. And now when we run that, we'll be able to query the blockchain for the tip. So as you can see, we have our sync progress at about 50-ish% right now, and it's going to keep going up because again, we're syncing to the blockchain, the testnet blockchain. Now the testnet is going to be considerably less in size than the mainnet blockchain, and that's expected. Obviously there's less activity on the testnet. The mainnet is very, very secure, very, very decentralized, and there's a lot of transactions and a lot of stake pools going on. The testnet is purely just to test out functionality. So thank you guys so much for watching. We're actually going to close this terminal, but that doesn't actually kill the node. You have to do something called kill all, which is a command in Linux, and we're going to sudo kill all, and then we're going to run cardano-node to kill the cardano-node, and that is going to terminate the process, and we're going to stop syncing the blockchain. But because we have that DB folder, actually we're going to save all the progress that we had, and next time we run our Cardano node again, we're going to be able to quickly get back up to where we were, where we just have to scan our DB folder and then boom, we're back in action. We'll have to resync with the blockchain again. We'll have to reinstall everything up to the most recent block. But again, that's the way you do it. So that DB folder is really important. If you delete the DB folder, you're gonna have to resync the blockchain again, or just reinstall the whole blockchain ledger again. Remember, that's how blockchains work. The immutability comes from a shared ledger of every node running and having the same transaction data. So that's really important. And now that we have that transaction data, we're almost up in sync to where we were before. We're going to be able to query the blockchain again, and that is really awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed this video of how to get a testnet up and running. The next video, we're going to also do a mainnet, and we're also going to learn more advanced querying tactics. We're going to talk about how to query different wallet addresses and also how to make transactions. So I'll see you guys in the next video. If this helped you out, please like and subscribe. I make tons of Cardano videos. I'm going to be making them at least weekly going forward. So I hope you guys can help me out and hit that subscribe and like button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.